Hello, welcome to Mystical Adventures. My name is Anne Vivian. Thank you so much for tuning in. Mystical Adventures, the show where we explore all things mystical, healing, creative, and inspiring. I am so happy you've joined me today. I'm excited about today's topic. We're going to be exploring relationship skills and spirituality. I also want to quickly mention I have May's tarot messages and forecast by sign on my YouTube channel. And in that video, I tune in intuitively to each sign. I draw a few tarot cards. It's not an astrology reading. It's an intuitive reading and messages for May for each sign. And I just divide up the collective by sign so that you get a little bit more personal reading. And that's on my YouTube channel, Creative Psyche Studio. Psyche is spelled Psyche. That's also my website, creativepsychestudio.com, and my Facebook page under the same name. The link to the May Tarot messages is also on my Facebook page. So check it out. Get your messages for May. You can look at your rising sign, if you know your rising, moon, and sun sign. Your rising sign to get info about your physical health, and general energy, your sun sign for your general energy, and your moon sign for your emotional, intuitive experience in May. As always, I share a spirit helper of the week. I open myself every week to divine consciousness and the heart-centered, higher consciousness beings and entities, and channel a message to you, my audience, of one who comes to me to offer guidance and hope and wisdom for the week ahead. This week, the divine feminine expression of lunar moon energy, Celine, came to me, known as Celine in Greek and Luna in Roman. She is the divine feminine expression and energy associated with the moon. You can see I have, here we go, the Virgin de Guadalupe behind me. Mary is also associated with the moon and the ocean. And Celine is associated with not just the moon, but the ocean. They archetypally are connected with one another. So here's the message from Celine for this week. And you might notice themes this week of intuition, nurturing, emotional nourishment, your inner world. These are all realms of the moon and the moon consciousness and energy. Here is the message from Celine. You have opportunities to use both inner and outer strength in this world of duality. You have a charm within you, and that charm is the jewel of your soul. When you allow this divine jewel to sparkle and shine throughout your life, you see the beauty and charm of spirit. Use your own understanding of spirit and the inner mysteries as a way of understanding your relationship with others. As you behold the mysteries of the sun, moon, and stars, you can see that we are all one and all of our actions affect one another. Allow the divine love within to radiate outward, and you see this reflection of love in all you do and experience. As I reflect the light of the sun, your body, mind, relationships, and life reflect the light of you. Remember, we are all connected. Remember also at this time to allow yourself nurturing, and that as you nurture yourself, you nurture the universe. Tending to your garden is helping all of the plants and gardens. Do not hesitate to water your garden, nurture yourself as a way to help yourself, your relationships, and the planet. Lunar wisdom is mothering yourself. When you can mother yourself, you have the tools to mother others. Thank you, Celine, for that beautiful message. I want to talk today about nurturing yourself, nurturing your relationships, using spirituality as an empowering tool to create even more beautiful relationships, to help relationships that are struggling. I'm going to talk about how to prioritize your relationship with your higher power first, how to align yourself, or the importance of aligning yourself with the solution to any relationship issues before you approach your partner, to ask for what you want and avoid being indirect, and also appreciating opposites and differences. These can all help us in our relationship, and I'm not guaranteeing it will solve your relationship problem, but I wanted to share with you these ideas. I was guided to share with you as I tuned in today and asked what would be most helpful to share on this episode. I was guided to share with you these tools, which may help to, you might be surprised at how these make a difference, not in just your romantic relationships, but in your relationships with your family, with your friends, with your coworkers, with your colleagues. These are universal principles that can help you balance out the flow in any relationship. So number one, your relationship with your higher power, the word I use is spirit. Some people use God or the all or any number of names, but please know that I'm using spirit to mean higher power. When you prioritize your relationship with spirit, when you seek abundance, love, answers, vitality, energy, inspiration through spirit first, and then engage with others, and then secondly, prioritize giving, receiving that with others, you have created the most powerful flow you can in any relationship. And I challenge you to put this into practice if you haven't already, and see how this transforms your engagement with others, how you interact with others, and how others respond to you. A way of describing this might be engaging in your spiritual practice on a regular basis as your number one priority. And that could be internal, that could be your external spiritual practice. Prayer, meditation, going to a group, a temple, a church, a coven, a shamanic circle. But using whatever practice is most right and appropriate for you to tune into your connection with spirit and seek on a regular basis your needs to be met, all of your needs to be met primarily through your connection with spirit. And I want to say prayer and meditation are probably the top two spiritual practices I suggest as a way to do this. And as you prioritize and make room for spirit in your life and invite spirit into all areas of your life, including your relationships, it helps your cup run over with the abundance of God. And as you are fulfilled with your relationship with spirit, it takes the pressure off your partner. It takes the pressure off your relationships to meet these needs that really are designed to be filled, number one, through your higher power. And if you are doing that, it helps you to avoid expecting your partner to meet all of your needs. No human being can meet all of our needs. That's not how being human works. Being human works like we get to experience the physical plane and being connected with spirit and relationships. And when we can bring in that energy of spirit and higher consciousness, then it can flow into our relationships and help create a beautiful flow without any codependency or enabling or control or power struggles. Of course, we're going to have those things because we're human, but it can help to decrease them quite a bit. It can help us to let go of the shoulds and release people from having to do or say a certain thing. We give our power away when we are going into what I call the shoulds, when we're expecting that people should do this thing, they should say this thing in order for me to be happy. But when you make up your mind, I'm going to be happy, no matter what, and I have the power to be happy because I have the power to connect with spirit, then you are tapping into the most powerful flow and paradigm that you possibly can for relationships. And notice how people respond to you differently when you get your happiness from within. Speaking of getting your happiness from within and not expecting others to fulfill all your needs, I would suggest, instead of trying to resolve all relationship issues by working it out with your partner and talking to them and trying to get them to understand your perspective, which can be helpful, I would like to suggest use the law of attraction before you approach your partner or whoever you're improving this relationship, whoever you're approaching, friendship, family member, coworker. Get aligned with yourself first. Get aligned with the feeling of the solution has come. The resolution to this relationship tension has come, and I've aligned with spirit. I've put my prayers, my intention out, and trying to invoke that feeling of already having the resolution. As you align yourself with the feeling of resolution, with the feeling of receiving the guidance and help and support to resolve this issue, then again, you're letting go of control of the other person. You're connecting with your divinely bestowed guidance. And now you're also using the law of attraction to attract to you that experience in the most helpful way possible. And then you approach your partner after you've gotten yourself in that place of alignment and resonating, vibrating with the knowledge that you and the faith that resolution is at hand. And watch what happens. Try it as an experiment. Another common problem that I experience clients working with me is, a lot of folks listening and viewing and tuning in today are very intuitive, are very psychic. And sometimes when we're very intuitive and psychic, we expect other people to be as intuitive and psychic as we are. And even if you don't feel like you're in touch with your intuition, it's common for relationship problems to come up when we're doing what's called mind reading, which is a distortion of, it's a cognitive distortion. We expect that we can read other people's minds, or that other people will read our minds, and that they should know what we're feeling, what we want. And I think, again, part of my audience is very intuitive, and you often know what other people want or maybe are feeling or thinking because you're so intuitive. But other people don't necessarily have that going on. They're not necessarily understanding what you want or need. And even if you're incredibly psychic, we're not constantly reading everybody's mind. We're not getting a constant stream of thoughts from everybody around us. So instead of trying to mind read others or assuming that other people are mind reading you and able to know what you want and feel, say it directly, my friend. Say it in a gentle way. Avoid being aggressive. Avoid being passive. Try and get somewhere in the middle, but say what you want, what you're feeling, what your expectation is with love. And this can help to clear up a lot of the misunderstandings and assumptions we have that other people are reading our mind. Lastly, appreciate opposites and differences. A lot of the times we assume that other people are seeing the world how we see it, are wired as we are wired, are having an experience like we're having an experience. We just tend to unconsciously assume that. And we need to challenge that assumption and realize that we're in a world filled with many different, beautiful, unique souls, and we have different opinions and approaches and personalities and likes and dislikes. So one of the things that can help us in relationships is to Stop assuming that other people are seeing things how we're seeing. Stop assuming they have the same needs, the same communication style, or even way of expressing affection. And try and see things from your partner's point of view. Don't take it personally if they don't see things or do things like you see them or do them. And as we can find a way to appreciate our partner's perspective, then we can have a little bit more patience and flexibility in honoring our differences and appreciating them. You don't want to marry your clone. That's boring. So appreciating those differences and then working towards compromise and connection as we appreciate our partner is probably different than us. So to summarize, seek your relationship with spirit, number one, then move your consciousness and your focus to relationships. Get in the vibration of resolution before you try and solve a relationship problem, instead of trying to solve it while you're feeling angry or a sense of lack. Ask for what you want and avoid mind reading, and appreciate opposites and differences. I'm so excited. We have a caller. Nadej from LA. Hi, Nadej.
Hi,
welcome to my show.
Thank you.
My name is
Pleasure
Vivian. Yes, it's such a pleasure to meet you, Nadej. I love your name. It's so beautiful. And we're talking today about relationship skills, spirituality and relationship skills. Do you feel like you're using your spirituality in your relationships?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, we're talking about spirituality and relationships. Do you feel like you are able to use your spiritual wisdom in your relationships with others?
At times, yes.
It's an art. It's a growing edge. It's a process, isn't it? It's not something that we can do 100% of the time because we're human.
Yes, it is. I was
right?
hoping to have a medium reading rather. Is that possible?
A mediumship reading.
Conversation? Right, correct.
Sure. You want me to? The way I do a mediumship reading, Nadej, is I tune into the spirits around you and I tell you what I'm picking up. So I would be happy to do that if you'd like.
Awesome. Great.
All right. Just be a moment of silence as I tune into your energy, okay? And try and just focus on opening your energy, and I'm going to tune in.
Sure.
Well, Nadej, as I tune into the energy around you, I get the feeling like you wanted to connect. There's a male energy coming up, and you wanted to connect either with this male before he died, or you're trying to connect with him after he passed away, but feeling frustrated that there seems to be an obstacle there, that you're not connecting as much as you'd like. Does that make sense at all?
Part of that, yes.
So, which one do you feel like makes more sense? That it feels like you've maybe tried to connect with this person before. Go ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's a male. That's all.
Oh, okay. Well, I might be picking up on the male energy of this female, or it could be several spirits. But was it both, or was it before this person passed?
Well, I've had a number of people pass around me in the recent past, So I don't know. It could be one of the parties that are male, and I mean, I'm open, just open to hearing.
Well, I feel like there's a male spirit around you, and it feels like I feel like this spirit is wanting to communicate. They didn't get to connect with you how they wanted to before they died, and there was a distance between you and this person before they passed, and I'm trying to tune in more to this spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I get just a really sweet energy around this person. And there may be some association with books learning with this person. Does that ring any bells?
Not at the moment, no.
Can you tell me who was the person who recently passed?
An uncle recently.
Okay. And this uncle, I'm wondering if that's the one that I'm tuning into. I felt like there wasn't a lot of communication between you two.
Toward the end, no, you're correct.
Yeah. And I feel like this might be the spirit that I'm tuning into. He wanted to try and be like a mentor. That might be where the books learning comes in. Maybe he wanted to teach you something, but it feels like he wasn't able to. And he wishes that it were that way more so. And I feel like maybe he had a child or there was a child around him that he was working toward rebuilding some relationship with a child around him or family member. And he just wanted to acknowledge that he wanted to create that more with you, if that makes sense, Nadej, as well, that he was trying to rebuild and I think he might have been trying to work on his finances, I'm hearing, as well, maybe at some point near the end of his life.
Okay.
And there's a feeling like he really, really loved you, Nadej, and that he really respected the family. I think he wanted more respect from the family, and you feel like he didn't get that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he felt like he didn't fit in, or he didn't get the accolades that he deserved. And he kind of distanced himself from the family because of that. Is that right?
I don't know if he distanced himself because I wasn't around towards the tail end. So I don't know what happened. I know that he had, towards the end of his illness, he was very much distant with everyone. I think he was angry that he was leaving. So he kind of, and I know that that's part of the dying process. Sometimes you just push away the people that you love.
Well, for some people it is. For some people it is. For some people it is, Nadej, and that certainly could have been part of the process. When I tune into his energy, I feel like there was a wound there with feeling not appreciated. And he was, trying in his way to deal with that, but he wants to acknowledge that he really does love the family. He loves you, and he regrets pushing himself away from you and the rest of the family. And he actually sees you as someone very wise and someone who could see past the illusions and the kind of the BS of the family. He can see, he wants to acknowledge, he knows that you are deep and that you truly care, and that you weren't, maybe he didn't recognize that, to you verbally in his earthly life, but he wants to recognize that to you now. Okay.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. But he wants you to know that he made his transition, and he's actually in a phase of, I feel, review and of understanding his life's lessons, of forgiveness and making amends, and he would like to just, forgive that whole chapter with the family and moving on. And so he's trying to, work through some of these things. And that, that's part of the process of spirits when they cross over, is they see the bigger picture, and they are reviewing and kind of understanding their life lessons. So that is a message from your uncle. Do you have any other specific questions before we wrap up?
Yes, direction in life right now, career-wise, finance-wise. I'd like to know there are certain things that are going on in life I'd like a little bit more clarity on.
Sure. Well, I'm going to pull one card as we have 1 minute left. Nadej, I have the Chariot. So I feel the message for you, Nadej, is don't give up. You've been working really hard, and it's like, don't give up before the miracle happens. You're close to getting the reward for all of your hard work. And I feel like if you're just patient and just continue to plod along, you are going to see some financial and career opportunity openings in the next couple of months, okay?
Okay.
So I hope that was helpful, Nadej. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Take care.
Awesome. Bye-bye.
And bye. And I want to thank you for tuning in so much, my beautiful listeners and watchers. And I hope you have a beautiful week. Don't forget to tune into your higher power and tend to yourself, tend to your relationships. I will see you next week. Blessings.